My first day in prison would likely be a carefully orchestrated performance designed to gather information and establish my cell without drawing undue attention. Here's a possible scenario. Let's see how it went. Arrival. I stepped into the prison, my face a blank canvas. The intake procedures were a blur of efficiency, my emotions hidden beneath a mask of indifference. They ushered me into this place as they do with everyone else. A cursory search, the removal of anything not deemed standard issue, and barked instructions delivered in tones meant to instill submission. Predictable. There were the usual faces you'd expect. The hardened veterans, their gazes sizing me up, the scared ones clutching onto a brittle veneer of bravado, and those just trying to disappear among the crowd. I registered them all, a preliminary catalog for future reference. Interactions. With the guards and staff, my responses were curt and to the point. I exuded an air of quiet confidence, not fear or defiance. Orientation. My keen gaze scanned the cell block, not at the spoken rules, but at the unspoken ones. I identified potential threats, escape routes, and hidden contraband spots. Observation is an instinct, as ingrained in me as breathing. The White Room taught that lesson, if nothing else. This place, though, it's a whole different ecosystem. I felt it as they shoved me into the standard issue jumpsuit, the rough fabric a subtle reminder that my carefully controlled world was a distant memory. I suppose this is what they call a reality check, if you're prone to melodramatic thinking. My eyes scanned the surroundings more intently than I listened to the droning orientation instructions. I was searching for the unspoken rules, the hidden dynamics. Where were the escape routes, if any? Where would potential contraband be hidden? More importantly, who held the sway here? Who pulled the barely visible strings? I observed the inmates' interactions, seeking out the power players and the unspoken alliances and rivalries. Who held sway? Who had the upper hand? I wouldn't be a loner. Solitude would make me a target, but I'd be damned if I became someone's pawn carelessly. The initial interactions were measured, superficial conversations masking careful assessment. What motivates them? What are their tells? There was an incident, of course, a test, or perhaps simple boredom looking for an outlet. In the rec yard, words were exchanged, escalating faster than any meticulously planned schoolyard confrontation. A shove turned into a posturing match, the crowd circling like vultures, eager for a distraction from the ceaseless monotony. My role was clear, not the instigator nor the helpless victim. A quick clinical display, efficient movements, enough to end the confrontation without turning it into a spectacle. The message was delivered. I am not easily intimidated, nor am I looking for dominance. The crowd dispersed, faintly disappointed. A few eyes, however, held a different gleam. Assessment shifted into a flicker of interest. After lights out, I went through the familiar motions of exercises, the ones ingrained in me during those endless white room training sessions. The physical routine offered a semblance of control over my body, a way to organize my thoughts about this day. While feigning sleep, I listened intently, absorbing whispered conversations, the pattern of guards' footsteps, and the sounds of nocturnal prison activity. While I feigned sleep, my ears were open. They never truly shut down. I listened to the rhythm of this place, whispered conversations, measured footsteps of the guards, creaks and groans that hinted at the building's hidden workings. These are the initial threads, the ones I'll start unraveling. This isn't about grand gestures, it's about patience, positioning, playing the long game. Overall, my first day was dedicated to gathering information and subtly influencing my surroundings. I played the role of the quiet, competent newcomer, positioning myself for the long game within these prison walls.